Howdy. So round one of MHL5 is over. I won. But I wanted to put up a fifth video to not spoil the result. Not that you really cared anyway. Like, seriously. But I figured, what could I fill this fifth game with? And I thought, hey, maybe I'll talk about the GP and do like a tournament report as a video rather than as an article. And sure, why not? I'm just gonna grab my cat here. Give me a second. Where are you? Yeah. Oh, you're famous. Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be long, but I'll try and keep it short. There's way too much content to cover it all, but so to begin with, Sam Loy and I booked with Jetstar. They overbooked the flight, and they called us up the night before our flight and said, hey, we overbooked it. How about you guys change flights? And you have to do it. It's not an option. So long story short, we had to take the day before, which meant that I had to take an extra day of work. I had to call at work the night before, cancel, stress. And it turns out there was we hadn't booked accommodation for that extra night, and there's an Eagles concert, the GP, the World Cup of Cricket was on as well, so just accommodation was so hard to find. Luckily enough, Sam found something maybe through a recommendation or whatever. I booked a flight, so he booked accommodation. That was the deal. So we're all good. We get there, we're on the same flight as Adam Yob, and Ty Sowens, who got screwed over by the same thing. And Yobbo was he actually got a flight from Planes of the Planeswalkers, which is an awesome thing that Isaac Eden started up. Basically, players who are deserving and are experiencing financial hardship get their flights to tournaments shouted for them, which is awesome, I think. You want to go? Okay. Alright, so we rock up. Yobbo sleeps on our floor in this dank, rubbish hostel. As we're checking in, there's literally a queue out the door of people walking up going, hi, do you guys have accommodation? Oh, okay, see ya. And then the next person walks up and does exactly the same thing. So despite how bad it was, we were grateful to have accommodation rather than sleeping on the streets. Day on a Friday, I think we just met up with the dudes. Yeah, slept in, hung out, went to the venue. I just did some practice seals because I had heaps of products from PPTQs and that, and GP trials. And other people played some side events. Carl won a GP trial, and so did Jake Hart. So good on those guys. I should have spent that day to go to a supermarket and make some sandwiches and stuff, prepare for the weekend, but I didn't. Instead, I bought alcohol and then drank on the Friday night and slept late and had a terrible preparation for the tournament. I was staying in an 8-man dorm with Sam Lloyd, Paddy Robinson, Ray Barker, JP, who organised it. Thanks a lot, JP. Good job. Wilfie Horrig, Rob Lark. Yeah, it's a pretty big crew. Jim Wilkes. And, I'm lying in bed. I get to bed at 10:30. I guess I didn't start that late that night because I was wrecked from, the changing flight and all that. And I'm lying in bed this is nice. Yeah, good job. Gotta get good sleep. And then in walks Ray Barker, snorer extraordinaire, and unleashes the dance of 1,000 throats and destroys us all. I'm just, I've experienced snoring before, so I could handle it. I wasn't getting angry, but damn, I was waking up, falling asleep, wake up. Paddy couldn't handle it. He was on the bunk below me, got up and smothered Ray or punched him or something with a pillow. Yeah, and in the morning everyone's just this sucks. We go to the venue nice and early. I didn't have time to have breakfast before deck rego, which is like the most important part of the day. I mean, like, you've got 9 rounds maximum, and with the deck that you build in that 30-minute window, and so you want to be in your prime in that 30-minute window if any time during the day. And I hadn't eaten, and I had a bad sleep, and I like, in the end I got lucky. I opened like the nuts, I got just great pulls, like, yeah, sure, this is exactly how you build it. And there was only a couple hard decisions. Like, the worst card on my deck was like a Teamer Charger, like a 3/1 for 2. I had Dramoka, Ataka. It was thumbs up, and I was happy. Went and down, got breakfast, like a $10 stack, like a bagel and bacon and baked beans and spinach and hollandaise and egg. It was just primo. Really enjoyed that. Lots of people complaining about not liking their deck, in particular Juzza. He like showed me his deck, and Justin Chung. You just see it in his face, and like, I knew he wouldn't day 2 at that moment, like, regardless of his deck, just his attitude at that point. Like, you really, like, it's understandable and true, but, you know, disappointment isn't going to help you play better. So you just got to get over it. Sure, you cracked a bad pool, whatever, like, play the best you can. And like, you may have done that regardless, but whatever, I'm just saying that. I had 2 buys, actually, because I played an 8-man GP trial in Werribee. I made a very good decision. I went all the way out to Werribee for a GP trial the day after the GameSlab GP trial, so everyone like couldn't be stuffed going to this Werribee one. I rock up, and the store is closed. There's no one there but me in Werribee, right? This is far west Melbourne. It's at the end of a line, end of a train line. And I'm like, oh man, I've got the day wrong. Look up the Facebook, no, it's the right day. What's going on? I'm panicking. Eventually, like, this lady rocks up and her daughter gets out and goes, "Hi, you here for the Magic tournament?" "Yeah, I am." Like, I guess this is looking better. Still not 100% confident though. A couple more guys rock up. All right, so something's happening here, and sure enough, the TO was late, but it happened. It was sealed 8-man, and so that meant that the store couldn't afford to supply prizes for the tournament because they're already running out of loss because it was limited. Sealed plus draft for top 8, which was the 8 people in Swiss. So there was 0 incentive for anyone to scoop, to not scoop, I should say, and no one else there wanted to go to New Zealand. So sweet. It's a flaw of the GP trial system, but you know, like, a fringe store got to host a tournament, so it worked out. We actually only had 7 players, but one of the guys called up his mum, who's like 60 or whatever, and she actually rocked up and played, and she had like a play match. She clearly played with all her sons, and she loved it. She had a great time. She was a lovely lady. I wish I remember her name. Anyway, so I won in the end. We actually played at all the matches, and there was no concessions. I ended up winning genuinely. Okay, so back to the GP. I crushed day 1 with my sweet deck, starting at 2 buys. I ended up 8-1. Couldn't have asked for anything more. I still made a couple like misregistrations. I played an Empty the Pits with quad black off 9 black sources, which is sketchy. Even if half my lands were black, like, not playing a spell until turn 8 is not good. You know, if half my lands are black, then 9 for quad black should work out if I'm playing it at turn 8. Whatever. And I lost the last round to just like curve out Mardu aggro, and I boarded poorly and chose the wrong removal spells. Anyway, and I'm like elated. I'm 8-1, I'm like feeling good, so I'm just like, yeah, let's have a few more drinks at the hostel, no worries. Yeah, team draft, good, cool. And I teach Yobbo and Alex Keech and Carl Air Mental Magic. They've never played it before, and of course they love it, want to play as much as they can, and I'm happy to oblige. And I enjoy it as well because I haven't played it for years. And we're rocking some Legacy Mental Magic. Before I know it, I'm drunk and it's 1 AM, and I've got day 2 of a GP the next day. So go to bed, more snoring, yeah, so just terrible preparation. And day 2 it really hits me, and I'm blank. Like, I'm staring at cards and nothing's registering. My first draft is a train wreck. Like, I can't believe I won my first game. Neither could anyone else who I showed my deck, like, reluctantly. I ended up 1-2. Wolfie beat me in the second game, and I played against the eventual winner. I forget his name. He's Japanese. Looked like a hairdresser. Very stylish. Very polite. Nice guy. And, like, you know, obviously an excellent player. I should have beaten him in match 3, but I just... Yeah, I'm staring at the cards and they're all, like, proxies, like blank pieces of paper, and I can't think, and I have to make a play, and... because I got no energy. Anyway. My second draft worked out a lot better. I was in a lower draft pod, and I was able to pick up a lot more dual lands. I'm going to go another tangent. All my preparation for this format, Khan's Fate Reforged draft, was at like local stores with less experienced players, and less experienced players don't rate lands. They don't think they're that good. And so I was always able to take all the lands in the first booster out of Fate Reforged where the commons and uncommons are relatively low in power level compared to Khan's, and I'd be fine to play like 5 colours and just reap the rewards, pick up all the good cards in Khan's of Tarkir. But couldn't do it in the GP Day 2 drafts because people would take lands in pack 1 because they knew how bad the commons and uncommons were. And that really hit home to me at the end of the GP. I realised that, you know, if I want to get better and have good strategies when the big tournaments come, that I need to practice with experienced players. And that kind of sucks. Like, I want to play with inexperienced players, beat them, and then have them go, oh, you know, I need to get better. And then gradually raise the level of skill in the greater player pool of Melbourne. But that's great in the long term, but in the short term, you know, I'm missing out on good practice, and I'm not getting the Pro Tour qualification, which I solely desire. Anyway, second draft, the deck's good. I won 2 because I make a bunch of mistakes and bad calls because I'm just wrecked. I finished the tournament on 25th. The way the breakers worked out, if I had won my last round, I would have qualified for Vancouver. I would have top 8'd. That was heartbreaking. I instantly went to the pub with JP and watched some World Cup. And that was an experience that was good. Like, it was an awesome trip all around. It sucks that the Faz got banned, but, you know... I wonder what's going on through that guy's mind right now. He might write an article or something, he said. We'll see. That's regrettable, but... you know, it happened, he did it. Other than that, the GP was excellent. Cameron Maitland came second, so good on him. Jason Chung, another mate of mine, also top 8'd and queued for Vancouver. Hopefully I can top 8, or top 4, I should say, the Regionals PDQ later next month. Otherwise, yeah, back on the PPTQ train. Good night, and hopefully you enjoyed my GP wrap-up and my first league match. And I'll bring you my second league match when I find the time. Ciao.